Hey, Tomahawk family, how's everybody doing? Some of you guys know the nasty feeling you get when you drink lukewarm coffee. You get sick to your stomach when you drink lukewarm coffee. When I mean lukewarm coffee, I mean coffee that's not hot and coffee that's not cold. Coffee that is just in the middle. We see in Revelation chapter 3, verses 15 to 16, that Jesus does not like lukewarm churches. Lukewarm churches are churches that want a little bit of the world and a little bit of God. Lukewarm churches are churches that do the spiritual splits because one leg is being pulled towards God and the other leg is being pulled towards the world and the world's desires. And Revelation was written because the Apostle John was persecuted for his faith, and because he was persecuted for his faith, he was exiled to an island called Patmos. And on Patmos, John received a vision from God about the end times. And God told John to write to 7 churches that were going through tough times at that time, to encourage those churches that Christ would win in the end. And in Revelation chapter 3, we see John talking to a church called the church in Laodicea. And the church in Laodicea was one of those 7 churches that need some encouragement because they were going through persecution. But even though this church was going through persecution, they were lukewarm. And John was basically being a messenger for Jesus to the church in Laodicea here. Because John was telling the church in Laodicea what Jesus was telling them about lukewarm churches. So this is what Revelation chapter 3 verses 15 to 16 says. I know your deeds, that you are neither cold nor hot. I wish you were either one or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'm about to spit you out of my mouth. Actually, that Greek word for spit means vomit. I know I probably ruined lunch for some people, but sometimes you got to bring up words like that to really give you a better understanding of what's going on in this passage. So lukewarm churches make Jesus pretty sick. You can't serve the world and serve the God of the universe at the same time. It just can't happen. It's like you're having a spiritual affair when you try to put a lot of devotion into the world and a lot of devotion into God at the same time, because you're trying to be intimate with the world and intimate with God at the same time. And churches more than ever cannot be lukewarm, especially with this virus going on. We need to be 100% in for Christ more than ever right now with this coronavirus, because we are fighting this invisible enemy, and Satan likes to work through this invisible enemy. And Satan likes to tempt us through this invisible enemy. And churches do not have time to be spiritually lazy, and churches do not have time to have one foot in the world and one foot with God at the same time. The Bible says you can't serve 2 masters. You're going to love one and hate the other. Our churches need to be churches that are not lukewarm more than ever, because we have a mission. And if we're going to fulfill that mission of making disciples and leading people to Jesus, we got to be fully devoted to Christ.